Hey guys, my name's Adam, your friendly Sasquatch, and today we are going to be taking a look at Olight's new light, the Mini Warrior 2. Now this is a new and improved version of the very popular Mini Warrior that Olight's been producing for a few years now, and they've taken some feedback from the community and made some improvements on this version, which we'll get into during the review. Now Olight is partnering up with me on this video, and they've offered a discount code to all my subscribers, so if you want to get 20% off the Olight Mini Warrior 2, use the discount code GNT20 for the next 3 days and get 20% off the Mini Warrior 2 here. If you use GNT10, you can get 10% off any item that's not already on sale at the Olight store. So again, the links are in the video description, and the codes are GNT20 to get 20% off the Olight Mini Warrior 2, and GNT10 to get 10% off anything in the store that's not already on sale. So that's a pretty good deal to get 20% off. So let's go ahead and take a look at what you get in the box when you order one of these. First you get the light itself, which is a very nice light. We'll get into it in a little bit. The 3500 milliamp hour battery. It comes pre-installed. I just took it out so I could quickly show you. The USB-A to MCC magnetic charging connector, which just snaps onto the back of the light with a magnet and can charge the light in about 2 hours. A clip ring that goes on the body of the flashlight to attach your lanyards or carabiner rings. The two-way pocket clip, which can be attached to the head or the butt of the flashlight and can be used for tip-up or tip-down carry in both configurations. And finally, this lanyard, which has kind of a silicone texture to it, which makes it great for using in wet weather. All right, so that's everything that's included with the Olight Mini Warrior 2. Let's go ahead and take a look at the size and weight of this thing. The length of this light is 4.65 inches or 118 millimeters, 1 inch diameter at the head or about 25 millimeters, and coming in at 4.3 ounces or 128 grams. So really a great EDC sized light. It fits into my hand comfortably, it doesn't protrude excessively or anything like that. It's small and compact enough to fit comfortably into your pocket, yet it's big enough that it's still a very capable, powerful light, which you'll see when we get this outside for some outdoor testing. Also, this light's been drop tested at 1.5 meters with no problems and has a waterproof rating of 2 meters or 6 feet. So a very strong, sturdy design that can really take a beating. Okay, so that's a quick walk around of this particular light. What's new with the Warrior Mini 2 that wasn't on the original Warrior Mini? Well, like I said earlier, Olight had some input from the community, and being the good company they are, they listened and produced this improved version. And some of the improvements are the front lens here. The window itself is made of glass instead of plastic, which I know on the original Warrior, this light, if it was inadvertently turned on inside of a bag or something like that, it puts off so much light and so much energy that could actually melt the plastic on the front of the light, or it could melt the bag or something like that that was being stored in and potentially cause damage or a safety risk. So they replaced that with glass, along with the reflector itself is also glass. So that's good. I always like to see when a company realizes that they can make an improvement, they step up to the plate and implement the improvements to make their products better. So again, glass window, glass reflector. The second major design change that Olight made on this light is, if you look here, you kind of have a window or a opening, and what that is a proximity sensor that's tucked inside the head of the light. Now it doesn't seem to affect the throw of the beam. They've done a nice job designing a reflector to not make that a dark spot. But what it does is, if it gets inadvertently turned on inside of a bag or something, it will quickly drop it down to a lower power setting to prevent the light from getting too hot or damaging the storage container that's being stored in. When I remove my hand or you take the light away from what's in front of it, it goes back into the turbo mode. So that's something I really like. It doesn't just turn off or go into a low mode permanently. It's just temporary until the obstacle is removed. If something is left in front of the light for more than a minute, it will eventually turn off. Now, because of that proximity sensor, the bezel here is a little bit bigger than the original Mini Warrior. The Mini Warrior had a bezel that was more similar in size to the body of the light itself, where you can see the Mini Warrior 2, it has a little bit larger bezel at the head, and that's so they can fit in that new reflector design that has the proximity sensor cut out in there. So overall, I really like the new features that Olight has brought. Outside the flashlight, you also have this new kind of carabiner style ring, which I really like. You just attach it to the key ring at the back of the light here. And then you have a nice convenient hook to put on your bag strap or inside the bag. So, clip it to the loop inside the bag so it stays near the top of your pack, so you're not rummaging the bottom of your pack trying to find that flashlight that's floating around there. So I really do like these rings over like a lanyard, because it's pretty easy to clip on to whatever you're trying to attach the light to. And some people might like it even as like a finger ring for a little extra security when they're using the light. I personally don't use finger rings, but some people really do like that feature, and it's sized correctly for that. So big win there. I think Olight really thought the ring functionality out on this light, and it works really well. If you're not really big on rings, this would still be a really nice ring for a keychain or something like that. You could use it for another purpose. Okay, so those are all the new features of the Olight Mini Warrior 2. Now the Olight Mini Warrior 2, again, it takes all the best features of the original Mini Warrior. That was a really good seller for Olight. The machining is really well done on it. It's you know, the head comes off super smoothly. You don't have any of that gritty feel or anything like that. The anodize is top notch. You don't see some of the wearing on the edges. Sometimes the anodizing, the sharp edges, it doesn't adhere very well. This light doesn't exhibit any of those problems. It's a very well made aluminum bodied flashlight. Something else is the tail cap here is a you know, it's integrated right into the body of the flashlight. It's not a separate piece with the all metal button construction with positive clicks. So good design there. I took the light apart real quick just so you can see it has springs in both the head, and I don't know if you can see down there, but in the tail as well. And what that does is if the light is jarred, if the light is jarred a lot, the battery is allowed to move back and forth a little bit, and the springs will maintain contact. It won't flicker or anything like that if you're using the light in a rough environment. So I always like to see that. Not all lights have the springs on both ends, or either end for that matter. So that's a nice touch. It really shows that this light is designed and intended for an abusive environment and rough everyday use. So a very good design. It really ticks off all those design features that I look for in a rugged but compact EDC light. The magnet on the back of this knife is super strong. It snaps right onto my knife, no problem. I can hang it vertically, but when I try to tip it horizontally, it doesn't quite want to stick. But interestingly, I can hang it right off the edge of my knife blade, which really shows you how strong the magnet is. That's not very much metal to be holding on to. So a good strong magnet. That comes in handy if you're working in a workshop or underneath your car. You just need to stick the light to the hood or the undercarriage of the vehicle. It'll have no problem staying put. And then of course with the charger, which can charge the light in about 2 hours, it snaps right on, and then when you're ready to go, you just pull it off and away you go. You don't have to worry about, you know, pulling off any rubber covers and putting in a USB-C connector or anything like that. Just quick and simple and works every time. Okay, so that's kind of the physical overview of this light. Let's start getting into the performance end. The tail cap can be configured to 2 different configurations. In configuration 1, a full press will put it into turbo mode, which is 1750 lumens, and a half press is high mode, which is 500 lumens. In turbo mode, the light will stay in 1750 lumens for 4 minutes, then drop down to 500 lumens for 206 minutes, and then drop down to 200 lumens for 40 more minutes before the battery is depleted. Now in high mode, the light will start off in 500 lumens and will run for 215 minutes, and then drop down to 200 lumens for an additional 55 minutes before the battery is depleted. To get into the lower power functions, you just use the side button instead of the tail cap. It comes on in 1 lumen moonlight mode, which is good for 45 days. And then if you press and hold, it'll cycle through the different power modes. And again, the lowest one is 1 lumens, which is good for 45 days. The low setting is 15 lumens, which is good for 164 hours. And the medium setting, which is what is on right now, is 120 lumens, which is good for 19 hours. So the medium setting at 120 lumens is great for indoor use and stuff like that. And at 19 hours, that's a ridiculous amount of runtime. So this is a really versatile light. You have a mix between super bright settings and lower settings that will give you extraordinary runtime. So the new LEDs they're using in these things are pretty good. Another couple quick settings is if you double click the side button, you'll get into turbo mode. And seizure warning, if you triple click it, you'll get the strobe mode, which is very obnoxious. The light can also be turned on and off on the side button or the back button, just like I demonstrated earlier. There is a second configuration that you can program the light for by holding the tail cap and the side button down simultaneously. The difference is when you half press on the tail cap, it will automatically go into turbo mode. And if you full press on the tail cap, it will put the light into strobe mode. Personally, I don't really need the strobe mode that often, so I just left my light in the factory settings, which is configuration number 1. Alright, so that's it for the inside portion of this review. Let's head outside, take a look at the beam throw and the tint color of the light itself. Okay guys, we're outside in the testing area, aka my backyard. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and shine on a brick wall that's about 50 feet away or so, maybe a little bit further, in the different brightness modes, so you can see kind of how bright the flashlight is, the color of the light is throwing off, and the throw or the area that it lights, what the hotspot looks like, and the spread. So let's go ahead and get at it. So the first test we're going to do is on turbo, which is 1 full click on the back button. And as you can see, it really just illuminates that whole back wall. It has a nice large hotspot, relatively soft edges on it, and it has some good flood coming out the side of the light, but it's not overly floody. It does have a pretty big but strong hotspot you're not losing a lot of light to 90 degrees to your side, which is actually pretty good. This is the type of light I like to have because it really throws out there and reaches and touches something. So that was 1750 lumens. Next, let's try the bright setting. This is 500 lumens, and you can tell this is significantly dimmer. It does have a similar beam look. It has the same hot spot in the middle that's plenty strong, and up closer it's more than bright enough for most tasks. So yeah, no, this high at 500 lumens is very usable, and frankly it's probably what I'm going to use most frequently because it's not going to make the light hot. It's going to have a much longer run time at 218 minutes plus the 55 minutes in the 120 lumen setting. So again, 500 lumens, very useful. I think that's what most people will use unless they really need to reach out and touch something that's way off there. All right, this is the moonlight mode, and you might see a little bit, but that's because my camera is oversaturating everything. But if I put my hand right in front of me, you can definitely see that the light is able to light something up that's close to you. Say you're reading a map or something like that. The moonlight mode would definitely be the way to go so you don't blow out your night vision. Here is the low or 15 lumen setting. And as I shine it around here, you can see that you can definitely see a little bit right in front of me. If you're just trying to find something you drop next to your car, the keys in your front door, something like that, the 15 lumens low setting would be more than adequate. But as far as like seeing to that back wall, not so much. All right, this is the medium setting, and this is the 120 lumens. And it might be a little hard to see on camera, but you can see some things being lit on the back wall over there. You can definitely see things closer up on the ground. If you were in a parking lot or something like this 120 lumens medium setting would be more than enough. And then at 1700 lumens, we have our turbo again. It's covering a huge area. You can see the tree up there, no problem. The walls is basically entirely lit. You can see the side of my house and through the fence there. So the 1750 lumens is very useful, especially in a small EDC compact flashlight such as this. Looking at the beam color in the turbo setting, which is 750 lumens, it's a relatively yellow, kind of warm white, somewhere between 6,000 and 7,000 Kelvin. I did notice when it was in the lower settings, specifically the moonlight and the 15 lumens real low, it kind of had a little bit of a greenish tinge. It's not real harsh, but you could definitely see it just a little bit. I'm not sure if that was picked up on the camera or not, but in the super low settings, this LED has a little bit of a green tinge, but that's pretty normal for any flashlight that has this wide of a range of performance, between 1 lumens all the way up to 1750. And finally, we have to try the strobe out. Seizure warning, here we go. And that strobe is very quick, very disorienting. If somebody were to shine this at me, it would be very uncomfortable. It appears to be strobing at about the 500 lumen setting, the high setting. It doesn't appear to be quite as bright as the turbo mode, but it's a little hard to tell when it's strobing like this, but I do believe the strobe is in the 500 lumen setting. All right, guys, so that's it for the video review of the Olight Mini Warrior 2. And like I said earlier, the original Mini Warrior was a great light, and Olight has definitely listened to the community, made some great improvements to the design, and this is probably going to be my new EDC carry light. It's that good. The machining is great on it. It's ultra bright at 1750 lumens. The magnetic charging is awesome, and the fact that it's waterproof to 2 meters and just feels like a really rugged and well-designed light. I'm definitely feeling like this is going to be my next EDC light, guys. So again, if you're interested in picking one of these up, there's a link in the video description below. Use the discount code GNT20, which is good for the next 3 days or until September 17th. If you've missed that window, don't fret. We have a discount code from Olight, GNT10. Use the link below and you can get 10% off any item in the Olight store that's not already on sale. Thanks for joining me today. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and the bell icon so you're the first to be notified when I release new videos just like this one. Cheers!